Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and do you smell that? Ah, yes, it's the possible fan cams of seeing our favorite heroes in cinematic form within Overwatch. That must mean the Archives event is just around the corner. The Archives event is obviously the next scheduled Overwatch event, and a lot of people expect me to do this kind of video where I talk about the start date, I talk about the skins, and specifically with the Archives event, a possible new story mode. But another thing I also wanted to talk about is possibly the expectations of a new hero in Overwatch. And again, it's just expectations. But when we consider everything that is going on within Overwatch and how long we are going to have to wait for Overwatch 2, it wouldn't be too far-fetched of an idea for a new hero to at least be introduced to the Overwatch universe. So let's talk about what we can expect from this year's Archives event. First and foremost, with talking about the start date. When can we expect this event to drop? Because the Archives event has one of the most complicated start dates to ever predict. You know, at least with the Halloween event, we can predict it in October, the winter event in December, but the Archives event typically always took place in April, but last year it took place in March, probably due to the pandemic and Blizzard realizing, hey, why don't we just release it a little bit early because everyone's going to be staying home, and boy were they smart with that. But this year we have a few things that could get in the way of the Archives event. First and foremost, with the Pachimari event, that's going to be taking place up until March 22nd, but more importantly, the Overwatch League starts on April 16th. And while that is a pretty big gap, it leaves just enough room for a 3-week event like the Archives event to potentially drop on March 26th, which is a Friday. Now normally events drop on Tuesday, and if that is going to be the case, then you can also expect it to be dropping on March 23rd. But I think March 26th is a more likely date because, again, you have to remember the Overwatch League is going to be promoted within Overwatch alongside the new Roadhog skin, and they don't really want to overlap the Archives event with the Overwatch League, so that leaves just enough time to feed into the Archives event and then the Overwatch League. But speaking of skins, what kind of skins can we expect out of this Archives event? You know, this is an opportunity for Blizzard to expand the story on some of our favorite heroes in the forms of skins, whether it's McCree and his Deadlock skin hailing back to his Deadlock gang era, or whether it's with Moira and her scientist skin back when she was a scientist for a Talon, or even before she went evil. What kind of heroes can get their story told with a skin for this Archives event? Well, the heroes that currently don't have an Archives skin is Brigitte, D.Va, Echo, Sigma, and Zenyatta. Now with Sigma and Echo, that's to be expected because they're still relatively new heroes. Along with Brigitte, she is a DLC hero, but D.Va and Zenyatta have been in the game ever since day one. So if you did want to say a hero is due for an Archive skin, those two heroes are desperately in need of one. But if I can give some suggestions for skins that we can expect from this event, I have some ideas for Echo and Sigma. For a Sigma skin, we can actually look at his sprays in game and see that there are some skins that hint at a younger version of Sigma, which is a common theme for a lot of skins. Whether it's Ana and her sniper skin and Soldier with his formal skin, we can have a scientist Sigma skin. Here the spray depicts a younger Sigma as a scientist trying to figure out gravity or some kind of nerd stuff, but what's so significant about this skin is not the lab coat, it is not the callback to when he was a mad scientist, but when he had black hair. And that's the main reason why I want to see this skin, is because I want to see Sigma actually be happy for once. Because once you gold bald, yeah, you might be happy, but you're a little less happy than when you had hair. I want to see Sigma smile a little bit with some hair and be a happy-go-lucky scientist before, you know, schizophrenia took over. And it would just be a great addition to the rest of the Archive skins because this event is supposed to, well, dig through the archives of a lot of heroes back in their younger days. And Sigma is no exception because he's an old guy, but at one point he was a strappy young fella that just wanted to figure out gravity and also how to get a girl to like him. But then a skin idea for Echo, and this is pretty interesting and I really do like this concept. I want an alpha build of Echo. And I'm not just talking about like the idea of an alpha build. No, I want an actual Blizzard alpha build of Echo. I want one of the original concepts of Echo to make it into Overwatch. Blizzard has tons of early concept art for every single hero. Just like this Mercy skin where originally she was gonna be a big black thick guy, which, I mean, hey, Blizzard, if you wanna bring a Mercy skin for for this Archives event. I'm not saying you gotta bring this one, but I think people would pay top dollar. But when it comes to Echo, it would be very cool to see maybe potentially the second choice for the final design of Echo make it into the game, or potentially also design a skin around the idea of Athena. While we do know Echo as Echo today, a lot of people thought Echo was gonna be Athena from the loading screen whenever you go into like the training range, or the announcer whenever you load into any single map. So I think it would be really cool to see what Athena would actually look like in the form of an Echo skin, and it would still fit the event because, well, again, it's the Archives event, supposed to call back to the younger days, and while Echo doesn't necessarily have an age, I'm sure there is some sort of pre-alpha build design of her, or better yet, just represent another robot within the Overwatch world. But now here's where the Archives event could potentially get juicy. If you're not playing for the skins, and if you're not playing for, I mean, what else would you be playing if it's not for the game mode, but more importantly, the story progression of the Overwatch universe, which is really, really slow, man. But the story's not just slow, it's so confusing and so convoluted. Blizzard loves to leave loose ends when telling a story within the Archives event, whether it's with Retribution and the Blackwatch organization and this Italian mafia gang that they're coming in destroying the city for, and with the Storm Rising event, we're going to capture Maximilian, but what are we gonna do with this robot after we capture him? And then who's that gigantic tank at the very end at Temple Anubis with Doomfist? Like, there are so many unanswered questions that I would love to be answered with this Archives event, but I know Blizzard's not gonna do it because, one, they'll probably just make another story mission that they just leave another loose end with, but more than likely what I'm actually expecting them to do is to simply add challenges to the already existing campaign missions. If you remember in last year's Halloween event, and even in last year's Archives event, they had these specific challenges throughout the week for you to participate in that made the missions a little bit harder. You know, with Junkenstein's Revenge, there was like a mission where you can only play with 3 players, and then in the Archives mission, there was even one where there was no support heroes and you heal yourself by doing damage. You know, those little challenges that try to make the already existing game mode seem a little bit more fresh, or at the very least add a little bit more of a challenge for veteran players, are always a welcomed addition, but it's not something that we really want to expect or accept for an Archives event that already skipped out on a new mission in last year's event. So here is my suggestion. Let's say I was in charge of deciding what was going to be the game mode to be played for this year's Archives event. I would suggest the campaign mission that we saw at the behind the scenes look of Overwatch 2. If you remember that 50-minute segment, there was this campaign mission that was being played on the snowing map Toronto, and it was from the POV of Sojourn. I would release that exact mission for 2 reasons. One, it's an Overwatch 2 mission, something that nobody has experienced yet, or at least nobody in the public has experienced yet, because there were a lot of people that got to experience a campaign mission from Overwatch 2, and that was at BlizzCon 2019. I suggested they release that mission in last year's Archives event, but for whatever reason, they didn't release it. I don't want them to release it this year because, well, we've all seen footage, we've all seen what Overwatch 2 looks like from that perspective. I want the brand new map, but more importantly, the second reason is that I want to look at the brand new hero, Sojourn. The Archives event is all about expanding the story of Overwatch, so what better way to expand the story than by adding a new character? This has never been done by Blizzard, adding a whole new character to Overwatch during an event, but this I think would be the best time to release a new hero because it's almost been a year since Echo released for all of us to play. A whole year. And since Overwatch 2 is not going to be released for at least another year, are you really going to expect people to still be interested in Overwatch if you're not going to be adding what makes Overwatch Overwatch, a new hero? Well, Blizzard did state before that Echo was supposed to be the last release hero for Overwatch 1 until Overwatch 2 released. That was before the pandemic hit. I think it would be smart for Blizzard to go back on their word and release a hero that they showed so much gameplay on in the behind the scenes look of Overwatch 2. Like, I literally made a whole entire video focused on this hero. They showcased so much, it almost seems like they were hinting, hey guys, hey, wink wink, we might be releasing a new hero sooner than we expected. Well, why not during the Archives event to tell the story of Sojourn and to expand on the stories of already existing heroes, and better yet, give us a new mission to play so that we don't have to play the same 3 missions just with challenges. At this point, I'm really hopeful that they do release Sojourn in the Archives event, at the very least, release it for just the mission and not in the multiplayer of Overwatch. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I'm just wanting new content. I'm just wanting a new hero, and if Blizzard does not want to give us a new hero for whatever reason, then why not release it for the PvE side of Overwatch, where it won't bug out and it won't cause the meta to break. I know you're trying your best to balance out the game currently, but we need new heroes, man. But let me know what you think. Do you think we're gonna get a brand new hero? Do you think that we're gonna get a brand new mission? Or do you think we're just gonna get the same old challenges that we got at last year's Archives event and only get new skins? Which admittedly is the main focus of events, but when it comes to the Archives event, this is actually where we want a new game mode. This is where we want story and lore. But who's to know what we're gonna get? We'll just have to see. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.